We are currently doing structural organization in plants, that is chapter 4, and in this we are discussing the modification of stem. We have already done underground modification of stem, and here we shall see subaerial modification of stem. This is number 2. Subaerial modification. Subaerial means it will be near the ground. Subaerial modification of stem. Subaerial modification of stem. Here we have 4 types. So let us take all of them together. 4 types are there. Let us see them together. Number 1, it is known as runner. Number 2 is offset. Number 3 is sucker. And number 4 is stolon. Let's take all of these together. Okay, now these 3, runner, sucker and stolon, they are on the ground, on the land, but offset is in water. This is one difference between offset and the other 3. Rest 3 are on the ground. Now what happens? Let us see. In case of runner, say this is one branch of a plant. A part of this is over the soil and a part is under the soil. Now what will happen? From just near the ground, over the soil, but a branch, a stem will come out and it will run parallel to the ground. And where it will find soil, it will come in contact with soil, it will give rise to another stem, in which one part is above the soil and one part is under the soil. Now again, a branch will come out from here just above the soil, touch the soil, give rise to a stem which is a part above the ground, a part under the ground. Again it will come out and the process will continue to go on. Now, where it has touched the ground, the lower portion will give rise to adventitious root and the upper portion will give rise to branches and stem. Lower portion adventitious root, upper portion branch and stem. So, like this. So, we see a propagation of plant is there, but in this case, what is happening? The plant is growing in one direction. The plant is growing in one direction too, so it seems as if the plant is jumping in one direction, and so it is called runner. So here we see the branch, the stem that helps in propagation. It is on the surface of the soil, above the soil. We can see it, and it has nodes and internodes. It has many nodes and internodes. So this is runner. Example is cynodon, which is commonly known as doob grass, and oxalis. So this is runner. Now what happens in stolon? This is in water, but situation is same. Here also there is a stem which is a part above the water and a part under the water. From here will arise one stem which will go horizontally on the surface of the water, and in this case it doesn't go in one direction, it goes in all direction. So it's kind of round structure type, like everywhere. Suppose one stem is there, so it will give rise to plants everywhere around it, and this will touch the water level. Again it will give rise to stem. One part is under the ground, one part is over, and from here also horizontal stem will come out. Now these horizontal stem, they are swollen. Why? Because they have parenchyma. Since these are water plants, they have parenchyma in them, which helps them in floating. These are all floating plants. So now the stem which had gone inside, it will give rise to adventitious roots. And the stem which is above, it will give rise to leaf. And now the leaf here also has parenchyma, so they are swollen. So this is offset. Similarly, similar to runner, but it is in water. Now example is Pistia eichhornia, which is also known as water hyacinth. So we see that water hyacinth propagate very fast. It is because of this offset. It just gives out propagatory branches everywhere around it. So it propagates very fast. Now the next type is sucker. What happens in sucker? Here also there is one branch which is a part above the ground and a part below the ground. Now the part which is below the ground, that will give rise to a stem and it will touch the soil, and again it will give a branch which is a part above the soil and a part below the soil. Again, from the part which is below the soil, from there a branch will come out, it will go obliquely touch the surface of the soil and give a branch above and give a branch below. So from above we will not be able to see the connection. It will be seen as if all these plants are individual different plants, but actually they are all connected below. It gives rise to root and it gives rise to stem above. So this is adventitious root and the stem. So from above we will not see the connection. It will seem like as if they are all individual plants. Now here the example is mentha. But mentha, again there are two types. One will be sucker, one will be stolon. So here this is arvensis. Arvensis, the common mint that we get. Mentha arvensis. And then a very common example is chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum. You also have banana, which is a sucker, then bamboo. These are all suckers. Now the fourth type, which is stolon, here also branch is there which is part above the soil and a part below the soil. Now from the part which is below the soil will come out a branch. It will go above and turn obliquely and again hit the soil and give rise to a branch. Again from the lower portion a branch will come out, go above the soil, turn obliquely, again give a branch. So it is like runner only, but here the shape is different. The shape is kind of, it's a twisted oblique connection between the two plants. This is stolon, so the part which goes inside will give rise to adventitious root, and the part which is outside will give rise to leaves and branch and all those things. So this is stolon. Now the example of stolon is, again we have different variety of mentha, that is mentha piperita. This is the peppermint kind. And very common example is strawberry. So in strawberry we see distinct stolon, which is a roundish kind of connection between the two plants. So this is subaerial modification of stem and it helps in the propagation of plants. Runner, that is that goes in one direction only, it has many nodes and internodes. When it touches the soil, it gives rise to new plant. Example is dubghas and oxalis. Offset, it is in water, so it is similar to runner, but it spreads out in all the directions. Runner is in only one direction, offset is in all the direction. And they have erenchyma in them. So these are the differences you can see. Example is Pistia and eichhornia. Then we have sucker, in which the propagating stem is underground. We cannot see from the top. And example is mentha arvensis, banana, chrysanthemum, bamboo. Stolon, we have the underground stem part comes out, goes above the ground, turns obliquely and hits the soil and gives rise to another plant. So here we see the connecting branch very prominently. So this is stolon. Example is strawberry and mentha piperita. So this is subaerial modification of stem, and next we shall do aerial modification.